Okay, so here we are sketching some more quadratics, but this time we're going to have the form of the quadratic, not in expanded form, and the expanded form helped us understand about the zeros, but we're going to have it in vertex form. So here I've got an equation on the left in vertex form. Okay, look at the form. It's a number, open bracket, x minus a number squared, and then add or subtract a number. And now I'm just going to point on one particular point, the 3 and the -1. This is the vertex. Now, because this is the vertex form, the 3 has got something to do with this 3 here, clearly, and there's a -1 here. So let's just go back to it. This vertex is +3, -1. -1 is here, -3 is here. Okay, so what if we change this? What if we change this to -2? What happens to the vertex? The vertex is +2. What if we change this number inside to +2? Then we can see that the vertex here is at -2 for the x value and -1. What if we change the value of the -1 to +4? Well, look at the coordinates of the vertex, -2, +4. And what if we change this guy to 7 and change this to -4? Then let's see where the vertex has gone. The vertex has gone here, -7, -4. Okay, so it seems to be that if we have y equals a bracket x minus h, and we'll square this little bit here. Now the squared belongs only to the bracket, plus k, and we're going to put sliders in for all. We're going to leave a as 1, so this makes life easier. And we're going to look at the vertex. So let's make h 7.3. Let's make k -3.7. And let's have a little plot of the blue function. Let's go find where it is. Here it is. Let's find the vertex. The vertex is at 7.3, -3.7. Well, look, the k value is -3.7, -3.7. So it looks like the k value is exactly the vertex. Now the h value is 7.3, and x minus 7.3, and the 7.3 is here. So the h value is the x coordinate of the vertex, and the k value is the y value of the vertex. All right. Now we've played with this in class quite a bit with the marble slides and also the basketball desmos as well. So I'm going to go straight now to working with this. Just make that a little bit bigger so you can see it on the iPad. And so let's just have a little look at what that means. Here's the vertex form. Okay, we literally have h and k at the top there, which is the coordinates of the vertex, hk, and we just need one other point to be able to help us find the equation of the parabola, and it's in vertex form. And there's the model we use. Now remember, we compare it with the previous model, which we had y equals a x minus m times by x minus n. And the m and the n were actually when we had different bits of information from the graph. That's m and n from before. Okay, so depending on what information you're given in your picture, it will lead you to maybe choose a different model to try and guess the equation of the parabola or the quadratic. So let's start by sketching. So I've got a sketch here. Just put this little guy out of the way. So you could draw a table of values, but because we know that this is vertex form for the parabola or quadratic, we can go straight to finding and plotting where the vertex is. Okay, so let's just take this step by step. Step 1, we're going to put h equals and k equals. Okay, so we need x minus a value. So x subtract 1. Okay, well that's exactly what this is. This is x subtract the h value. The h value is 1. And then the k value is just the extra bit added on at the end. So 1, 4 is the vertex, 1, 4, 1, 4. Okay. Now if you notice that the a is positive here, this is the a from the model, and that a is consistent all the way through our different models. That's positive, so it is concave up. It's a smiley face. And because I know that there's a vertex, I have to draw a nice symmetrical curve. But let's go through step 2. Step 1's done. Step 2, make x equals 0 and find y. Okay, so y equals 2, 0 minus 1 squared plus 4. So we just find another point on this parabola, we plot it, and then we make sure that the curve goes through that point. So 0 subtract 1 is negative 1, square it is positive 1, so it's 2 times by positive 1 plus 4, which is 6. So the point plotted is 0, 6. 0, 6 is here, and that means that my smooth curve does something like this, up there, it's not that smooth, and up here. And you just plotted your parabola. Notice this parabola actually doesn't have any zeros, it doesn't cross the x-axis. So we wouldn't have been able to use this model to help us find the equation of the parabola, because there are no m's and n's, there are no zeros to the function or roots to the equation. The final thing we're going to try and do here now is actually given by this. We're going to expand it to play around with the algebra. Okay, so this is just a bit of tasty algebra to get involved with, and we are going to go back to the original equation, y equals 2 x minus 1 squared plus 4. Okay, I'm just going to bring it down here. So it's 2, I'm going to put a big square bracket here, and this is x minus 1 times by x minus 1 plus 4. You'll get 2, and then I'll just put the answer to here. You should get x squared minus 2x plus 1 plus 4. Sorry, I'm getting a bit messy here. Then it's expand 2x squared minus 4x plus 2, and don't forget we've got the plus 4 at the end, plus 4. So our expanded form is actually y equals 2x squared minus 4x plus 6. Okay, and you can check out both of those on Desmos, and you should have one superimposed on the other. Okay, so if you type it in expanded form and you type it in again on Vertex Form, you should get the same one. Okay, let's do one more example here. Okay, so there's our original quadratic or parabola. It's in Vertex Form, and then I'm going to expand it and get it in general form. But first of all, to sketch it. Okay, so write down the value of h and k. So we need a x minus h squared. Okay, now we've got actually x plus 2 in the equation, so this has to be negative 2 in here. So it's actually x minus negative 2. So that's what we have to do to take account of the positive in the actual question. All right. So the h value is negative 2, and the k value is equal to 6. So negative 2, 6 is here. Again, remember it's a sketch. You don't have to put tick marks on here and put a scale on it. A sketch doesn't need a scale, okay? But you need to put the point, roughly in the right, well, certainly in the right quadrant. Okay, and then find another point. We know this is a line of symmetry. Did you notice that the a value was negative, so this is concave down? It's a sad face, negative. So we know kind of, we've got a feel for it, it's going to be curving down, so I could start it like this. But then let me just get one more point plotted so I know where it goes. I'm going to make x equal to 0, and then y equals to negative 1, 0 plus 2 squared plus 6. If you do that, it's negative 1 times by 4 plus 6, and that's 2. So it crosses here at 2, and then we can kind of finish off our sketch, and we can get it going just about in the right place. Okay, and again expanding it to give expanded form, and then you can try and check on Desmos. So we have y equals negative 1, big bracket, I'm going to put x plus 2 times by x plus 2 plus 6. So y equals negative 1. In here it should be x squared plus 4x plus 4, close bracket, then plus 6. The negative 1 only distributes across these three terms here. So that's negative 1x squared, or just negative x squared, minus 4x minus 4, and then the plus 6 goes on the ends. Okay, what we don't want to do is do the -1 times this guy. The -1 only multiplies the bit in the square bracket here, and the bit in the square bracket came from here. Okay, so we'll finish this off now to give the expanded form. Y equals -x squared minus 4x plus 2. We've got 2 more questions left, and now this is actually going the other way. This is given the picture, how do we write down the equation? And we're going to write down the equation in vertex form because we're given the coordinates of the vertex, so that kind of makes sense. So step 1, read in here. Let's write down y equals to a x minus h squared plus k. Okay then, so the h value is equal to 2 and the k value is equal to 7. So my model is y equals a x minus the h value squared plus the k value. Fantastic, step 1 done. Step 2, substitute 2, 7. Well, that doesn't make sense to substitute 2, 7, does it? Because can you see I've already used 2, 7, okay? So this is going to be a common mistake that you're going to make when you try and find the equation, because 2, 7, we've already used it to help us find h and k. But can you see there's another value there that we haven't used, alright? So for this question, always make sure you use the point on the picture that hasn't been used before. So this is 0, 5, okay? So make x equal to 0, y equals to 5, and find the missing value a. So 5 here equals to a, substitute x equals 0 in, 5 equals to a. This is going to be -2 all squared, which is +4. When you rearrange this, 4a equals to -2. So I've got a equals -1/2, okay? I'm going to write down the equation now. Y equals -1/2. That's good, because a is negative. It's concave down. This is x minus 2 squared plus 7, okay? I will expand that after I've done maybe the next question. Let me just copy this, because I've got no more space here to expand it. So if I copy it, and then I'll insert another page after. Let me paste it down. There it is. Fantastic. Okay. Just delete that little bit that's not there. Okay, so now let's expand it. So y equals -1/2, big square bracket here, and in here will be the x minus 2 multiplied by itself. You can try to do that a quick way, but sometimes people make mistakes when they do it the quick way, so I'm going to do it the long way. And when you expand this, you will get x squared minus 2x minus 2 more x plus 4. So that becomes -1/2 into x squared minus 4x plus 4, and then plus 7 at the end. And then the -1/2 distributes, remember, only over the terms inside the square bracket here. -1/2 x squared, so that's -x squared over 2. You can have it as -1/2 x squared, that's fine. -1/2 times -4 is positive 2x. And -1/2 times, sorry, that was -1/2 times -4x, yep. And then -1/2 times positive 4. The last expansion is -2. And then don't forget we've got to tag on the plus 7. So finally we've got -1/2 x squared plus 2x plus 5. And this is the expanded version of the vertex form here, okay? One last question, and it's this guy here. So straight away when I see that, I can see that a is going to be positive because it's concave up. So again, let's go through the steps. Write down the values of h and k. Alright then, so basically the h value is equal to -2, the k value is equal to 5, okay? So let's write down our formula, a, x minus the h value, okay? So the h value is negative, x minus the x value squared, and then plus k. So this actually becomes a into x plus 2 squared plus 5. Okay? Done. Step 2, substitute 1/8. Now let's just make sure that we're substituting the right number in to find a. Have we used 1/8 before to find anything so far? No, We've used the -2, 5, the vertex, so we've used that, but we haven't used the 1, 8, so that's good. Let's carry on using it. So when x equals to 1, y equals to 8, substitute in 8 equals to a 1 plus 2 squared plus 5. 8 equals to a 1 plus 2 is 3 squared plus 5. I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides, so 8 minus 5 is 3 here, and then the 3 squared is 9, so therefore a is equal to 1/3, and my model is y equals to 1/3 x plus 2 squared plus 5. Let's do one final thing. Let's expand that and get it into expanded form. Expanded form is sometimes called general form or standard form. Okay, so there might be a slight change of language if you're reading other books or going on other websites. Okay, and the a was 1/3, is that correct? Yeah, the graph is concave up, so a is positive. Alright then, let's expand it one more time. Y equals 1/3, square bracket, x plus 2 times by x plus 2 plus 5. Y equals to 1/3. In here should be x squared plus 4x plus 4 plus 5. So that would be 1/3 x squared plus 4/3 x plus 4/3, because that's expanding here, and then put on the plus 5 at the end. I've obviously got to add these guys together because these are the constants that we add together. So that's 1/3 x squared plus 4/3 x. And for those of you who love fractions, this is right up your street. I'm going to change the 5/1 into 15/3. So that gives me 19/3. So there's the expanded form. Okay, I hope that helps. Maybe you watch that video, you pause and try and redo some of those questions.